Hey, babe.
Hi, honey. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So, crazy idea. What if we talk about our feelings?
Well, I like the idea of you talking about your feelings, and how about I just listen? All
Yes.
right.
Okay.
We're in agreement.
All right. So, cool thing. I had a meeting with my marketing director today as we're trying to iron out, some details with logo and website and all that. And part of this process is doing like a brand exam and trying to figure out who I am and what I stand for,
Yeah.
right? And how do I market that?
Right.
Right? Love it. Um Before we wrapped up our phone call though, craziest thing happened. So she gives me this like list of like two or three things that I need to do for homework, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until our follow-up meeting. And she said, "Oh, one last thing." She's like, "You're going to think it's totally weird. Don't ask any questions, just do it." I'm like, "All right. I've trusted you this far." She says, "I want you to go online and look up the definition for paper airplanes."
Mm.
She said, "Just tell me, write down what comes to your mind and if anything resonates with you and if you feel that there's a story there."
Yeah.
She could not see my face, but I had no words. Like my heart stopped and I get chills even talking about it again. And I said, "Michelle, you're not going to believe this." She's like, "What?" And I said, "Well, on my wrist, I have a tattoo that says show up, and it just happens to have a little paper airplane on it."
What about that?
Well, and she asked the same. She's like, "You're kidding. What's that all about?" And I said, "Well, my father's legacy that he taught me, which I spoke on at his funeral, was showing up. And I'll save the details of that for my book. But I went with a paper airplane in memory of him because he was a pilot and he was a private pilot with his private pilot's license. And as a little girl, I remember him taking me up in the cockpit and literally being the first man in my life that gave me wings to fly. And it was such a magical kind of like Peter Pan moment flying over Neverland. And my dad gave that to me. And not every little girl can say that. And so that was just really special. Some of the best memories I have with my dad were in the cockpit. And we added on the wing SBBE, which stands for Sweet Baby Blue Eyes. And because I was the only one in the family with blue eyes, because I was adopted, more details in the book,
Yep.
he nicknamed me Sweet Baby Blue Eyes. And that's always stuck. So forever, all the way up to the very last card that I gave him in the hospital right before he died, I would always sign every letter, every email, and every card, "Love SBBE." And Michelle had no idea that I had any connection to paper airplanes whatsoever. And the actual definition online says that it is rooted in curiosity and childhood innocence and creativity. And I think those are three words that we could both agree have a lot to do with my story.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can't make this up. And I asked her, I said, "Well, what the heck do you have to do with paper airplanes? Like, why out of all of the terms that you would instruct your client to search, why that term?" And she goes, "Well, here's the backstory on that." She says, "I have no connection to airplanes or paper airplanes." But she was working on something for another client, and then they decided at the last minute to go a different direction. And she said, "Normally I scrap all of my old stuff that's not going to be used because I just don't have the time and space to keep it." She said, "But this one, for whatever reason," she goes, "I need to hang on to this one because there's going to be somebody else that's going to need this."
Yeah.
And she said, "I had no idea that you had a history with paper airplanes." And so I just think that that landed, pun intended, absolutely beautifully.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. That's cool. So cheers to paper airplanes.
And stories colliding sometimes, right?
Yeah, I've said it all along. I think the same magic that led you and I to the backyard of Walt Disney's mansion via an invitation that we received on the other side of the country at the time, because we were on Main Street of your hometown when we got that invitation. And then who would have thought we would end up here in just a few short months? So I think that same magic that was there is absolutely still showing up here.
And you've got so many stories to tell, and then so many stories that are coming that have yet to be experienced or told.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's never a shortage of content. As long as there's air in my lungs, there's a story to tell. And I'm just so thankful for this new platform to be able to do it. It's
Wow.
it's a dream come true. And I'm glad I get to share it with you, babe.
I love you, honey.
I love you too.
Great story.
Thanks.